Cover a lot of craziness that's been going on over the weekend. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. This is going to be some show. What's going on in this world is hard to even believe is happening. We'll be live on the air in just seconds. Welcome, everyone. Make sure you like the video, too. Okay. Here we go.
And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the program. It is Monday, October 30th, 2023. My name is Brian Craig, and boy, are we starting the week off with a lot of craziness going on. The level of anti-Semitism going around this planet, not just the universities here in the United States, but throughout our country, as well as what's going on around the world, is frightening. This may be the largest wave of global anti-Semitism in history. Now, nothing will, of course, be worse than the Nazi Holocaust, but that was primarily limited to Europe. This is a global phenomena that is going on, and it is frightening, and we're going to cover a lot of it today, and I'll tell you why this is happening after I cover some of this. But there is an individual who is primarily responsible for the mass anti-Israel, anti-Semitic wave of incidents going around this, world right now. And I don't know if you can figure out who it is. A hint, it's not George Soros, although he has a major role to play in it. It's not George Soros, just to give you a hint. If you have an idea on who it is, give me a call. I'm going to tell you shortly. But did you see the crowd storming this airplane in Russia? My goodness, I've never seen anything like this. And let me play this story. This is from ABC News yesterday. In fact, this was late last night on ABC News covering this incident in Russia, in case you missed it.
Angry crowd stormed a Russian airport surrounding a plane that had just landed from Tel Aviv. Video circulating online purportedly shows the incident after the arrival of that flight in the predominantly Muslim Republic of Dagestan. It took authorities hours to get the situation under control. This has been as the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to spiral. Hundreds are seen raiding a UN warehouse.
Okay. Now, ABC News is very anti-Israel, very liberal, very anti-Semitic, and they dance around. What happened in Russia is word got out that there was a plane with Jews on it. So what did they do? The Muslims rushed to the airport to take the plane. Luckily, Russian authorities stopped them. The captain, I'm going to play more of the story. They'll give you more detail. The captain of the aircraft told everyone to stay seated. What the heck? They left that out of the intro of the story on ABC News. Shocker. I've never seen anything like that. It goes on. Listen.
Matt Rivers has the latest from Tel Aviv.
Tonight, chaos at an international airport. Videos circulating online showing thousands storming terminal buildings and the tarmac in Dagestan, the majority Muslim republic inside Russia. It happened shortly after a flight from Tel Aviv, Israel touched down. People swarming the plane chanting anti-Semitic slogans, preventing passengers from getting off. The chilling scenes come just as Israel's war with Hamas enters a new phase.
And notice, Israel. It's like they're blaming Israel in this. Thousands stormed the plane. If the Russian authorities didn't get between this mob and the plane, what would have happened?
Troops storming positions in Gaza with warplanes and howitzers relentlessly shelling targets. our team near the Gaza border as shell after shell fired from Israel lands on the other side. So that is the sound of an escalation in this.
Well, yeah. I mean, Israel's under attack. And, you know, these protests around the world, the ones that are happening here in America at this Russian airport, did you see what happened in France over the weekend? My goodness. This wave of anti-Semitism, you know, they keep talking about a humanitarian crisis with what Israel's doing. They seem to have forgotten or omit what happened at that music festival where Hamas invaded Israel and not just killed a bunch of people, kidnapped them, raped women, then killed them. I mean, some of the worst atrocities I think we've seen anywhere. Everywhere I go in Boca, I don't know if this is true in your community, but all over Boca, and I did see a big display of this in Parkland over the weekend too. But everywhere I go in Boca, they have the kidnapped posters of all the Israelis, some of them are Americans, people who were kidnapped by Hamas from that music festival attack when they went into that neighborhood and everything too. They're all over town. I don't know if they're in your community, but they're all over Boca. We have a large Jewish population in Boca, so maybe that's why, or maybe this is something that's going on all over the country. I don't know. But I do know this. I don't hear anyone condemning what the Palestinians did on that day. Do you? And this, the coverage that we're seeing here with this airplane, have you ever seen something like that? I mean, and this didn't happen. This didn't happen in a Muslim country. This didn't happen in Israel. It didn't happen in Gaza. It's happened in Russia. So who do you think is responsible for that? This is CNN. Listen to this, CNN.
Reporting, Nick, and you understand this very well. You've been to Dagestan. We are also seeing these multiple videos of very angry crowds over there storming an airport in Dagestan, in this Russian republic, after the arrival of a flight from Tel Aviv. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, my.
Said, I know you've been there.
Yeah, it's deeply worrying for anyone from Israel, or for that matter, for the Jewish community around the world, because this is just, it appears to be yet another place where anti-Israeli, anti-Jewish sentiment is being expressed. What surprises me specifically about this incident today is how in a Russian republic that has a high security presence, and the last time I was in Mahachkala airport in Dagestan, which is where this happened, was following the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. And that was because the bombers' families had come from...
You know, I'm watching the footage of these Muslims at the Russian airport. They're tearing through doors. There's more, they invade the airport. It's completely packed. It's like, you know, a major airport in this country on, you know, Christmas week. It's that many people in it, but these are Muslims. And, you know, you don't have to be a Jew to be in trouble with this. They just have to think you're a Jew, right? They heard there's Jews on a plane, so they stormed the airport. It gets worse. And I'm going to share something with you when we get back from the break. And after the break also, I'm going to tell you who is responsible for this globally. It's not George Soros. He's got a big role, but there's someone else. And I've never seen anything so frightening in my life as I'm seeing right now, because it's happening on all four corners of the earth. It's not isolated here or isolated there. This anti-Israeli, anti-Semitic massive march is a global phenomena. All right, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show.
So, guys, tell me when I say that there's one person in particular that's responsible for this, who do you think I'm talking about? Who do you guys think I'm talking about? One person in particular. Not Soros. Hmm? Interesting choices and some guesses there. After the break, I will tell you that, guys. Now, listen. Of course, you know, a great way to support the show is to use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com, and mypillow.com, the best place to go for your Christmas shopping. But the link that I have posted in the description of the video and also pinned to the chat are the extra big specials that Mike Lindell is offering. And these are specials that I cannot share on the radio because they gave us a special website, mypillow.com/Kane, Kane. But I put the direct link there, and it's a little too complex for a radio ad. But I can tell you guys and post the links there for you. And that's where you're going to see the lowest prices ever. The MyPillow 2.0, $39.99. The MyPillow My Slippers, just $39.98. A huge flash sale going on the Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. The MyPillow Towels, 50% off. Other huge savings as well on all their products. The MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0, 50% off. The Children's Bible Story pillows and the Children's Bible Story throw blankets, huge savings on those as well. A whole bunch of others. But if you click that link, that's where you'll get the biggest savings of all. You still got to use my promo code Kane at checkout, though, Kane. That's Kane at checkout at mypillow.com to get those huge deals. And, of course, anytime you buy MyPillow products with my promo code Kane, Kane, you're supporting all of my content. So that's appreciated. Oh, no, this is, we are in some scary times. And it's very frightening. I've never seen anything like this at all. All right, we're coming back. That airplane thing, I mean, those poor people on that plane. That'd give me a heart attack, wouldn't it you? Thousands rushing the plane. They heard there's Jews on the plane. That's 754.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FL.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. If you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, guys, you've got a leak in your roof. And if you've got that wet spot, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. He covers the entire state of Florida, both the East Coast, West Coast as well of Florida, and everywhere in between. And he'll come out to your home or property. Maybe you have an HOA, maybe you have a commercial property. He'll come out and give you a free evaluation. He's been in business since 1988, and Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best general contractors and best roofers in South Florida. Pretty big deal, and that's pretty cool. If you need a simple repair, he'll do it. Remember, he'll never sell you a roof you do not need. And remember, there are new laws that allow Tom Laporta to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the repair. So you may not need to hire a public adjuster or a lawyer. And he does amazing work, I'm here to tell you. If you have a homeowners association, give him a call. He has an expertise working with homeowners associations. He does every type of roofing material there is, and he can handle any type of structure. He does, of course, single-family homes, HOAs, condos, apartment buildings, churches, office buildings, warehouses, any type of structure. He can handle it, both residential and commercial. He's a good MAGA guy, and this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone that I'm going to give you. So You bypass the office and everything. You go right to Tom. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the radio. So, this wave of mass Muslim, Palestinian, anti-Israeli, anti-Semitic events happening across the globe are happening because of Obama. What we're seeing here now, years after Obama's second term, I know we got a third term with Biden, but Obama in his 2 terms did a big change when it came to this type of thing. First of all, I'm going to share an article about a liberal who just went so far over the line against Israel. I mean, this is like the most anti-Semitic I've ever heard someone in America talk openly on any type of media platform coming up in just a bit. You won't want to miss this. It's frightening, and it should be frightening to all Americans. But Obama, when you hear these anti-Semite, anti-Israeli, pro-terrorist people around the world, you constantly hear them refer to the Israelis as colonizers, right? Have you heard that? You hear it all the time. Colonizers, colonizers, colonizers. That was an obsession of Obama's. Obama was hardcore against what he called colonizers. And this is some third world term that they use for not just the Israelis, but for us in America. They think we're colonizers. Right, I know, it's insane. And they're very much against it. And I was mentioning last week on the show, I don't remember if this was Obama's first or second term. I think it was his first, but I can't swear to that. There was a story that came out that Obama had brought over 180,000 Palestinians and moved them to America. And that story, it came out, and it was quickly debunked by all these liberal groups. Fake news, they didn't call it fake news because, Trump hadn't come down the escalator and that term had not been coined yet. But it was debunked as untrue. And now, when we see what's going on, I think it was very true. And Obama not only brought this wave of Palestinians into this country many years ago now, because you've got to remember, Obama became president 14 years ago. It's hard to believe, but that long ago, right? Yeah. He's been on the scene for 15 years, if you start in 2008 when the campaign was going on. So we're pretty far removed. So he brought this massive wave of Palestinian migration, immigration into this country. That's why we have Tlaib and other members of the squad, Ilhan Omar, and why we have these insane demonstrations going on our universities. In Europe, Obama was a part of this too, but Europe with the EU, and Clinton's got a role, the EU allowed massive, not just immigration into Europe, but immigration between European countries became migration in that there were no borders. And there's been a massive Muslim immigration move, not just into the United States, but into Europe. And I'm shocked at this thing in Russia, I must tell you. I know there's a lot of Muslim Russians and such. This is not a new thing. But I've never seen a move like that before at the airport. So Obama, Soros, Clinton, Tony Blair, and many others, the Bushes, that brought in the EU and I know you hear people call a lot of these establishment politicians globalist, and it sounds like some big conspiracy and all. And I understand that, but we're seeing the result of it right now. And what happened after 9/11, which was just a god-awful event, this country's liberal leaders, the liberal leaders of America, for some reason thought a response to 9/11 was a massive Muslim importation of people into this country. This is why President Trump brought in the Muslim ban. And what's happened in Europe, I mean, they've been taken over. Europe has fallen. Without question, Europe has fallen. Now here we haven't fallen yet, and we've got Trump on the scene. Trump gave 3 speeches over the weekend, which were fantastic, and he talked about this throughout. And what we really truly need is more than just the bringing back of Trump's travel ban, the Muslim ban that he talked about. There needs to be a hard look at people that are in this country to find out whether or not they really should be here or should they be deported, because we have a lot of agitators inside this country that are not U.S. citizens who are causing a lot of mayhem. Now, after the bottom of the hour break, I don't have time to go through this now. I want to do it after the break. One of the top liberals in the country has said things about Israel that make me physically ill. I don't even know if I can share all of the comments with you. They're so bad. And this anti-Semitism wave that's going on worldwide and throughout this country, it needs to be shut down. It needs to be stopped. You know, this is the result of not just mass immigration into this country, but the ending of people who become residents or become naturalized U.S. citizens. It's the end of them being Americanized. Immigrants used to be Americanized. My great-grandparents on my mother's side were from Europe. They were from Greece, and they came here and were Americanized. And they raised my grandparents, their children, as Americans, not Greek. But that's not the way it goes now. The way things go now, you come here and you're still whatever you were wherever you left. They don't become Americanized. And I know liberals just think that's a great thing, but look at what is happening. So we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I will open up the phones. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. And I have an article about one of the liberals in this country with one of the widest reaches out there of people saying things about the Jews, saying things about Israel that will make you, probably as it has me, physically ill. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. We'll take our break and be back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's The Steve Kane Show.
Let me just get organized here. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. We broadcast on 6 radio stations here in Morning Drive, and this is our bottom of the hour break for news, traffic, weather, and all that business. And when we get back, I've got more to share, and we will start taking calls. I mean, tell me your, like, in one word, your opinion, having viewed that event at the Russian airport with the plane that flew in from Israel. Like, in one word, describe that. Horrifying to me. I mean, that was just sickening, disgusting, frightening. Never seen anything like that. They heard there were Jews on the plane, so thousands storm the airport? No, Michael, you can't talk like that. Insane, frightening, chaos, horrific, yeah, demonic, shocking, shameful, yeah. Yeah, those are good words. And they certainly describe it. Scary, yeah. Hateful, anarchy. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, if the authorities didn't stop them, what would they have done? I don't know if those were Russian soldiers or police, like in SWAT gear. I'm a little unclear on that. But if they did not get there, what would have happened? Apocalyptic? Predictable? No, I don't know. I don't think so. No, not predictable. I don't think. Not at this level. Mm-mm. We'll be back shortly. They've already been indoctrinated, Brian Segori. You know, they have to have already been indoctrinated to act out that way. By the way, those of you that are members of the channel, don't forget to check out the exclusive member content. You know, members, you get your name in a different color, so you stand out in the chat. You get all the member emojis, and I do put members-only content up there, including a vlog that I uploaded on Friday. So if you're a member and you haven't seen that, go and check it out. Inhuman, yeah. Yeah, all those words are good words. Mm-hmm. Yes, Michael Todd, there's the emojis. Yeah, Kathy added a new one of me in there. The Trump mugshot, that's a new one too. All right, we're coming back after this commercial. Here we go.
Radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, so if you're just tuning in, I'll just do a quick recap. Some of the most frightening footage I've seen in my life out of Russia this morning, and it doesn't involve Ukraine. A plane lands in Russia from Israel. Word gets out in the local community that there are Jews on the plane, and thousands of Muslims storm the airport attempting to get the Jews off the plane and do God only knows what. The Israeli authorities, I'm not sure if that was the Israeli, army, the Russian army or Russian police in SWAT gear, but a Russian authority stepped in, many of them hurt, stoned, saved the passengers on the plane on the tarmac, and it is frightening. This anti-Semitism going on in this country and around the world has gotten over and out of control. Now, there's a guy who has a massive reach among young people in this country on YouTube and Twitch and other platforms. He's the son of one of these young Turks, okay? And his name is Hasan. Any of you familiar with Hasan from the Young Turks? Oh my goodness. Listen to this. If you're on hold, stand by. And Twitch it's kind of like YouTube for gamers, but there are people up there like, you know, liberal. They play games and sprinkle in their opinions too. One of the most watched commentators on Twitch has defended Hamas's murder of babies. I'm not kidding. Hasan appeared as a guest on the H3 podcast October 12th. So this happened like over a week ago, just learning about it this morning. And he was asked by the host, who's an Israeli American, about the Hamas attack on Israel. Hasan, who's an American, he was born in New Jersey to Turkish parents, but he was raised in Istanbul. I'll never go to Turkey, man. If you've ever seen Midnight Express, holy smokes. You ever see Midnight Express? Remember that movie? I don't think anyone would go to Turkey after seeing Midnight Express. Hasan, who was born in New Jersey and raised in Istanbul, said, the Hamas attack of October 7th on Israel was justified. He says this is going to sound very radical and possibly very violent, but this is a matter of law, and maybe if you agree with this, a matter of morality. And then he goes on to say this, listen, Palestinians have the legal ground to violently seize back their own homes from these settlers, he said. This is a reality, and that is precisely the reason why they have to exist under endless occupation in the West Bank. This is insanity. He says there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in settlements, and there are baby settlers as well. And the guy interviewing him says, but the babies who were killed were not. And he says, I know. He then moved on to declare he was a one-stater and defended someone else who was defending the Hamas terrorist attacks on Israel. He has 2.6 million followers on Twitch who tune into him daily. This guy's huge. He reaches millions every week. And, you know, I remember a time, now he's the nephew of this liberal guy who used to be on MSNBC, who's the founder of this liberal YouTube channel called The Young Turks. His name is Chint Uger. And, you know, I remember a time not that long ago that when anti-Semitic comments were made, all kinds of groups like the ADL would be out there and stop it. And remember when Mel Gibson, about 15 years ago, maybe it was longer, got pulled over for driving drunk by a police officer in Malibu? The cop was an Asian American, and Mel Gibson asked him if he was a Jew. Do you remember that? Oh my goodness, the ADL was all after him. When The Passion of the Christ came out in theaters, the Anti-Defamation League and Jewish leaders in this country spent months trying to shut down Mel Gibson when he released The Passion of the Christ. Where are these people and organizations now with real anti-Semitism from sea to shining sea and on all these streaming platforms where you have people in America talking to millions each week justifying rape and murder and terrorist attacks? Could you imagine if we had a population with this attitude after 9/11? What would have happened? Now, after 9/11, I've mentioned this a few times over the last few weeks since these October 7th attacks on Israel, but there were some people, Bill Clinton, Mario Cuomo, and a handful of other Democrats, who after 9/11 started saying the first week, well, they had this question. It was a stupid question, but this is a question that Bill Clinton, Mario Cuomo, and other Democrats said, what have we done that forced them to do this? And some would say, we have to look at what we've done in the Middle East to see what drove them to go this far. Remember that? And they got shut down real quick. 2-3 days, that was the end of that because the American public didn't want to hear it. And they all reversed all that nonsense and stopped talking that way. But what's going on now is a global phenomena. After 9/11, there was some support for it. We saw those Palestinians on CNN throwing a party in the street and giving candy to the kids, watching the buildings come down. But that stuff was not widespread like this, not in Western society. It was in Muslim societies, Muslim countries. What we're seeing now are on the streets of America and throughout Europe. So this is dangerous, what's going on here. And I don't see any leaders standing up, other than Donald Trump, against it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark. What's up?
I have a question. You could help educate me. You were talking about Soros, Obama, Clinton, etc. Would that be a form of Marxist?
I don't think so. I think it's just. I think what's going on. No. What's going on with George Soros is an attempt just to cause chaos and anarchy in civilization. George Soros. People look at George Soros, and I have a different opinion of Soros, I think, than a lot of people. I mean, I don't like the guy, but I have a different, I guess, opinion. By the way, Mark, thanks for the call, of his end goal. See, I don't think that George Soros is looking to take over anything. I think he just enjoys screwing with the world, George Soros. And the way I describe him, and you've probably heard me say this before, but I think it best illustrates George Soros. George Soros is a guy that, if you've ever seen Clash of the Titans, the original one with Harry Hamlin, the gods on Mount Olympus, all the people, they have these little figurines of people that they move around and mess around with. You remember that Clash of the Titans? That's how George Soros is. I knew someone, I worked somewhere, and this was at another radio station I worked at, and the owner had a wife who, luckily, she had no authority over me, and I didn't have to deal with this. But the people that worked at the radio, oh my goodness. The guy's wife that ran the radio station would come in every few weeks. And she would, the way I would describe it is she'd go around the office causing explosions. She'd look in the closet and then find something that would take someone 12 hours to figure out. She'd go into the accounting department and then find something that would take 3 days for someone to figure. She'd go around and cause explosions. And she enjoyed going around causing explosions. She was a monster, this woman. She enjoyed causing these explosions and then sitting around watching everyone pick up the pieces. You ever known anyone like that? That's how George Soros is. He enjoys messing with people, messing with countries. It makes him feel powerful and godlike. I don't think he has some agenda of taking over the world. Not that he wouldn't mind that, but I just think he enjoys messing with people. It's sick. It's a perversion. Now, these others, like Obama and everything, Obama, you got to understand, Obama grew up in Indonesia, a country that has the largest Muslim population in the world, Indonesia. All right? So he spent very important years of his young life in that culture, being immersed in it, before he came back here and was raised by Frank Marshall Davis in Hawaii. And so his worldview, the worldview of Obama, is not an American worldview. I know he's got an American accent and everything else and all that, and people think because he likes Beyonce, he's American, or he said he's got Michael Jackson in his phone, he listens to, Thriller. No, he's not an American in his mind or heart. And that's this guy that I was just sharing with you from Twitch that reaches millions of people, Hasan, and these others, they're the same way. We've had 25 years or so of uncontrolled, unregulated, illegal immigration and legal immigration into this country. with people from other countries that have not been Americanized. And Americanizing people is not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Americanizing someone isn't racist. It's a good thing. Right? And in Europe, which has been completely taken over, you see, with these protests you've seen all. And I think people are, when we see these protests at the different college campuses, I think that's frightening to people. Now look, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. There's more to share on this, and then I'll get into the Trump speeches from over the weekend in a little bit. But we're in a new phase in this country and in this world, a place where I don't think many people realized we were at. Our country, our civilization, all of Western civilization is on the verge of collapse, and this Hamas terrorist attack on Israel has put a spotlight on it. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1, toll free, no matter where you're listening. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hi, it's Scott Simmons from Florida Weekly. This week, we're all about sea turtles who've been nesting on record numbers this season. The multitude of data takes you on the Orient Express. And our 3-for-3 offers a trio of options for great Mexican food. Read these other stories in Florida Weekly. Available throughout Palm Beach County. Available online at floridaweekly.com.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family.
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. This is the most pro-Donald Trump MAGA place you will find anywhere. Wow. I just read a scary story here I'm going to share when we get back. Wow. This is a scary story I'm reading.
Asian World Second Generation owner and CEO Larry McNamara and his co-host Wayne Adams. RBF, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. right here on the True Oldies channel.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. Have you seen the stories about Halloween candy prices? Oh, my. Halloween candy is up 13% from last Halloween. That's how bad inflation is. This is the highest inflation in 40-plus years that we've had in this country. Are you retired? Are you planning on retiring at some point in your life? Are you retiring in a week, in a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 20 years? Listen, you need a plan of action that can factor in all the things like we're talking about now, this out-of-control inflation. You need a financial advisor, one you can trust with experience. And, of course, that's Joe Thomas. He was just here in studio last week, and Joe Thomas is president of Retirement Network Advisors, which is South Florida's premier retirement experts and have been for over 2 decades. He also has a show that airs right here on our radio station, Jupiter Joe's Money Show. And he's got 2 incredible offers for you. One is a free copy of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. It's a short book filled with very actionable things that you can do to prepare for retirement. And I've read this book, very good book. And he's also offering free phone consultations. No matter where you're located, I'm going to give you Joe's number in just a moment. You can call and set up a free phone consultation. And to get the free book, you can also request the book when you call, or to request a copy of the book for free, just go to jupiterjoe.com and click on that book tab there, jupiterjoe.com, click the book tab. Now I'm going to give you his number, and if you miss the number, just go to jupiterjoe.com, and the number is there. So call Joe Thomas and set up your free phone consultation. A free phone consultation with a financial advisor. Pretty good offer. I'm free. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. Or go to jupiterjoe.com for the free book and to set up your free phone consultation. Now, we're coming into the holiday season, and I don't use that in some liberal way. I mean, we've got Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, right? The Jewish holidays, all that stuff. New Year's. Kids come home from college. You parents or grandparents out there, find out if your kids are safe. It's not just Jews that are in trouble on these college campuses. It's people that these, well, anti-Semites think might be Jews. Listen to this. Cornell University. Police have been dispatched to a building housing a kosher dining hall at Cornell after Jewish students received violent threats. Community Threat City of Ithaca, the Cornell University Police Department, is investigating posts on a website that contain threats of violence directed at religious groups across Cornell's campus. Cornell has sent out an emergency alert to Jews. You know, the first day after these attacks on Israel by the Palestinians on October 7th, Rabbi David called in and said, this is the beginning of another Holocaust. And the way that things are happening, he certainly was right, spot on the money. We've seen this before. Germany in the 30s, in black and white and without sound most often, on the History Channel and in school documentaries and such. Now we're seeing it in 4 and 5K, in full color with sound. The investigation is continuing in Cornell. The alert went out to say locations were intentionally selected because of perpetrator bias, omitting mention of specific threats to attack the kosher dining room, and also called Jews pigs, the threats. I mean, I'm in shock. The Cornell University said the FBI is also investigating. The Cornell Daily Sun reported that students were alerted when violent posts appeared on an online forum from a user named Hamas Soldier with threats to bring an assault rifle on campus and shoot Jews, using some other words before that I'm not going to read. There's a lot of words here I'm not going to read. They're not one of the 7 words, but they're so disgusting and anti-Semitic, they're not going to cross my lips. But the post said, if I see blank male Jews, I will blank and blank your throat. Another post pledged very graphic violence on the Jewish housing on campus. Where is the sirens in the news stopping down at the top and bottom of every hour on the largest hate crime threats and attacks we've seen in our nation's history, perhaps? Have we seen open attacks like this? You know, when the Democrats were opposing the integration of the public schools, was similar to this. There were Democrats in front of the schools, both the public schools and our colleges and universities around the country, who were opposing this, and you saw pretty ugly stuff. And I would say that is the closest that what we have here. But when that happened, the federal government sent in federal troops oftentimes. The media covered it and covered it properly. Where's the White House on this one? New York Post this morning, far-left billionaire George Soros had funneled more than $15 million to groups behind this month's pro-Palestinian protest, where demonstrators have openly cheered Hamas attacks on Israel. A New York Post examination of the Open Society Foundation's record shows a George Soros grant. By the way, remember, George Soros helped pay for Vivek Ramaswamy's graduate school. Remember the Soros funding of his graduate school education? Oh, it was Soros' brother. Oh, okay. Hitler's brother did it. It wasn't Hitler, it was his brother. Oh, okay. That makes it okay, Ramaswamy. Yeah, right. Records show a Soros grant gave $13.7 million through the Tide Center, a deep-pocketed lefty advocacy group that sponsors several nonprofits who have justified Hamas's bloody attacks on Israel. I mean, we're in a place right now that's so bad because we have no leadership in this country at the White House. We have a senile old coot who wears adult diapers, sniffs women's hair, takes bribes, and doesn't know what the heck's going on. And all he does is start wars. And in this war with Israel and the terrorists, Joe Biden is funding both sides. We have really heard no national Jewish groups taking a strong stand. Have you? Have you seen a press conference that's been covered in the national media of Jewish leaders, of rabbis? I've missed that. We don't have Christian leaders like Pat Robertson in this country anymore. They're gone to stand up. Who on the national stage is not just defending Israel, but not every Jew is an Israeli. And Jews are being threatened. There's another story that I have here of Jewish students in hiding at their university. I had a clip I played last week. It was a girl whose professor, who's also Jewish, told her to hide her Star of David necklace that she wears, that she's not safe on campus with it. Now, I understand that the death of a lifelong drug addict, Matthew Perry, is taking center stage right now. Headline story, oh, he dreamed of having a family and children. The guy, listen, nothing against Matthew Perry. I was shocked that who his stepfather was, by the way. The guy from Dateline, that really strange-looking guy with that voice that's on Dateline all the time. I didn't know that was his stepfather. I knew his dad was the Irish Spring guy, but I didn't know his stepfather was that guy from Dateline, NBC. But how many stories are there about Matthew Perry over the weekend compared to how many stories there are about the attacks on Jews outside of Israel throughout the world that are presented in a way that's sympathetic to these innocent people that are being attacked by Muslims, like at the airport in Russia? Next to nothing. Got nothing against Matthew Perry, but what do you say? Guy's been a junkie his whole life. I read an article over the weekend on when he was, how many Vicodin was he taking a day the last season of Friends? Like 70 or something? Guy's been to rehab more times than Hunter and his junkie sister combined. Shocker. He turned up dead. Oh, it was a drowning. Yeah. Because he's so, when people at that level tell you they're clean, they're still doing a little blow and pot and a pills here and there. When people like that mean they're clean, it doesn't mean they're drug-free. Their definition of being drug-free is like Philip Seymour Hoffman's definition of being drug-free. But I find it disgusting that Matthew Perry's getting so many headlines today. He's not that big of a star. Friends hasn't been on the air in a long time. But this story about what happened at the airport in Russia, just an afterthought. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. We've got a lot more to cover. After the top of the hour break, I'm going to get into the Trump speeches and some other things that happened over the weekend, because there were other things going on over the weekend. And we'll also go back to the calls at 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're calling from. Remember, it's Medicare open enrollment period. If you're a Medicare recipient, this is the only time of year you can make changes to your existing Medicare policy. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors. Her family have been with us here on the Steve Kane Show since 1994, helping listeners with their Medicare. No matter where you are in Florida, Debbie at I Will Advisors can help you. Her number, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. She helps Steve with his Medicare every year, and she'll help you with yours too. 954-753-8080. We'll be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day is off to a great start. We're going to see a daytime high today somewhere in the lower to mid-80s, partly cloudy skies and breezy conditions. I'm WBBF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Tom. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture.
Welcome. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And there's over 1,000 in the live stream, guys, so please like the video. That helps spread the word about the channel, too. All right, where am I?
Traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Where am I? Yeah, Trump's speeches over the weekend were fantastic. Oh, man.
Hi, it's Brian Craig. Let me ask you this. Are you planning on retiring in the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, at any point in your life? Or are you already retired? Economically, it's a mess with the stock market ups and downs and inflation out of control. In fact, it's the highest inflation rate in 40 years. You need a plan of action for your retirement.
I'm down to my last 2 pairs of readers. I buy these on Amazon for like $2 each, and I just lose them and lose them and lose them.
Premier retirement experts and has been for over 20 years. He's seen it all and is a true professional that you can trust. They're family owned and operated. His daughter Jenny works with him. You know Joe and Jenny from right here on True Oldies. He's the host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show, and he's been doing that for over a decade. You need Jupiter Joe's book, The Retirement Know-It-All. Mention my name, Brian Craig, and receive a free copy of his ebook. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. Take advantage of his free phone consultation too. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News now, I'm Tom Rivers. Israel launched what it's calling the second phase of its war with Hamas in Gaza. The conflict spurring an ugly incident at an airport in Russia.
Russian media reporting a mob of hundreds rushing that airport.
Here's the story.
Anti-Semitic slogans, some making their way onto the tarmac, targeting passengers from a flight from Tel Aviv. Health officials say more than 20 were injured. Israel condemned the incident, pressing Russia to protect the safety of all Israeli citizens and Jews and act resolutely against the rioters.
ABC's Justin Finch. In a statement, President President Biden has applauded the United Auto Workers and Stellantis for reaching a tentative agreement on a new contract that leaves General Motors as the only holdout among Detroit's big three. Court hearing begins today in Colorado on an effort to bar Donald Trump from the presidential ballot in that state, and the Minnesota Supreme Court takes up a similar case.
Unreal. It's a crime to be beating Biden in the polls.
At least my Swiffer sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer sweeper.
What state was that? I missed it. Unreal.
Or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
All right, here we go.
1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. It is Monday morning, October 30th, 2023. Waking up to just god-awful news. Now, President Trump had 3 speeches over the weekend, which were all spectacular. The first one was so short, though. It was seemed like it was 10 minutes long. But, but the one he gave yesterday was a good one. I mean, it was like a full Trump speech. And, one of the things he said over the weekend is that he has racked up $100 million in legal fees. And, this goes back to what I was telling you guys last week about Jenna Ellis and Sidney Powell, and why are these people caving? See, Donald Trump has $100 million in legal fees, but he's a multi-billionaire who has so much revenue coming in from his properties and everything, he can take that hit. It's not that, I'm sure $100 million isn't chump change to Trump. It's $100 million, but it's not going to affect his lifestyle. People like Jenna Ellis and Sidney Powell, it'll break them and their families forever. All right? And that's one of the tactics that these outlaws that are running this government are using, is they're trying to financially bankrupt people. And Trump actually, he said in one of the speeches over the weekend, he said, it's cost me a couple $2 billion to be a politician. Everyone else makes. They make money. I said, no, we can't. I could have made a fortune. The countries are coming and saying, we'd like to build a job we have going on. We'd like you involved. Billions. I tell my kids, sorry, we can't. I'm president. I respected the office, Trump said. Yeah, did you guys see that? I mean, that's such an amazing thing. Ben Carson, who had the most interesting speech he's ever given, because he doesn't have an exciting personality, but he was exciting yesterday. He introduced Trump and endorsed him in the introduction. It was very good. But that's true. All these other people, like Ron DeSantis and all the rest, get into politics to get rich, just like Biden. Trump, not only does it cost him billions of dollars, it cost his kids billions of dollars. And then he went on. Trump goes on. He says, and of course they made it much worse with legal fees. I have $100 million worth of legal fees. He said, they're doing good. At least I have good lawyers, because you can spend $100 million and have lousy lawyers too. It happens. The sacrifices that President Trump has made, you can't even begin to understand. And then Jen Psaki, she's on MSNBC. She has her show on MSNBC. And over the weekend, she had this Obama Justice Department jerk on. And let me play this. This is Psaki with their fantasy of Trump going to jail. This corrupt judge in D.C. has brought back the gag order. Now, the D.C. judge, Chunkin, she's the judge that was a partner at Hunter Biden's law firm. She was Hunter's boss. Hunter's client at that law firm was Burisma. And since she was a partner, that means she shared in the monies that came in. All the clients were her clients. That means that Burisma was her client too, before Obama made her a federal judge. So she's brought in this gag order. Trump can't say anything about anyone involved in the case, including deranged Jack Smith, or he's in violation of the gag order. So they haven't been able to get Trump on crimes because he's committed no crimes. So they're making new laws from the bench with these gag orders. That loon in New York, this corrupt judge in D.C., and this is Jen Psaki with this Obama lawyer talking about Trump going to jail. Listen. Oh, hold on. Let me turn up the volume, then we'll replay. Here we go.
Start with a gag order, because I think we're all waiting to see what happens here. Jack Smith has asked for it to be reinstated. Judge Chutkan to reinstate the partial gag order. When do we expect this to happen, and do you expect that to happen?
So it has been a cray-cray week in Donald Trump legal developments. You're absolutely
a legal term there.
Yes,
cray-cray.
That's the technical legal term. And look, there's two different gag orders. One Trump has already violated, the one in New York State, in which he's been fined now twice. And then there's this one you're talking about at the federal level with Jack Smith. And that one has been put on pause. And I think Donald Trump has made the best case of anyone. He's witness A for why you need the gag order in effect, because the moment that gag order was put on pause, he started going and attacking people left and right. And so I think that there's no doubt in my mind that there will be a gag order imposed on Donald Trump. And there's also no doubt in my mind that he's going to violate it repeatedly, to the point where a judge is going to have to confront the ultimate question: are we going to put the former president in jail? And I think there's only one answer to that.
Well, what is your answer?
Which is you have to. I mean, if he continues this behavior, no other litigant in this country would ever be able to do what he's doing. And judges, I don't care what your politics are, the one thing you understand is if you put on that robe is it's about the legitimacy of the court and about the judicial process.
Oh, yeah, the legitimacy of the court. These are illegitimate courts. So they can't get Trump on any of these crimes because he's committed none. So they're going to try to get him on violating gag orders. You know, this goes back to what they were doing with General Flynn and others, these process crimes. They can't get you on any crimes because you've done no crimes, so they continue to interrogate you for months, and then you put a comma in a sentence, and all of a sudden you've changed the sentence because there's a comma in it or something. You used a different pronoun, then all of a sudden they charge you with lying to federal officers, and then you go to prison, right? That's what they're doing here. They have this fantasy of Trump in a jail cell, so they're trying now to use gag orders to do it. If they had anything on this guy, would they be trying to jail him on gag orders? By the way, what has President Trump said about deranged Jack Smith or these lunatic judges or the clerk in New York? That is untrue. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is the number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
You know, we've always said, President Trump could have sailed off into the sunset on the most beautiful retirement, and that man loves this country so much he's willing to put up with what he is because he loves this country. And there's no man on this planet that could put up with what he has and still be standing and still fighting. And it's because God is with him and we are with him, and we're not going to give up. And this deep state is on their last leg. They are so desperate to get a gag order to put him in prison. And by God, I don't believe they ought to even try to put him in prison, because that's going to really tick off all the people of America.
Yeah, no, and what he's doing, it's not just for the country, he's doing it for the American people. I always describe President Trump as a civil rights leader. He is a Martin Luther King-like figure leading the American people to freedom from oppression from this out-of-control government.
Right, and this is just dividing the Democrat Party more. I believe there's more Democrats than the Democrats would admit that are fed up with what they're doing to President Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Legitimate bias, no legitimate reason to have these charges against them. They're all trumped-up charges.
Yeah.
And this last one of trying to put a gag order on him is ridiculous. The man never tried to overturn the election.
Yeah. Which by the way, has been done since the first one. Now here, but the thing about this, see, I think this gag order talk is them admitting that they're not going to get a conviction in any of these frivolous cases they have against President Trump. So they're going to use the gag order process to get the photograph of him in the jail cell. See, their first thing was, well, if we get the mugshot, that'll turn those MAGA people, and the mugshots made him more popular than ever. So now they want to get him in a jail cell And they think that'll turn us around because, they just don't think straight. So now they're going to try to put him in a jail cell through a gag order. And it's only a matter of time before one of these judges hold him in contempt and order him held in jail. And the question is, what will the Secret Service response be to that? Will they allow it?
I don't think they're going to go try to arrest him and put him in jail for a gag order. I just can't see that.
Well, what happens is the judge makes the ruling in court with Trump there, and then they order them to be taken into custody by the bailiff and taken to a jail cell and held in the jail. It'll happen right there in the courtroom. So what will the Secret Service do? Will they go along with that and walk him to the jail cell, or will they walk him out of the courtroom? What will the Secret Service do?
Official is going to go over to President Trump and say, turn around.
Well, the judge will say it, and then to President Trump and his attorneys, and then they'll tell the bailiff to go do it.
I don't see it happening, Brian. If it did, it would backfire worse than the mugshot became the most famous mugshot ever.
See, I think he wants to be arrested on the gag order. I think he wants to be, yeah. I think he does. I think he's poking the bear a little bit on it, yeah, to expose these people.
Maybe that would be the straw that breaks the camel back on all of it.
Yep.
People are going to be, we're talking about it being upset. Can you imagine how it would feel if they actually did it?
They're on the verge of doing it. Because, the Judge Chutkan in D.C., she's brought the gag order back. That lunatic in New York is crazy. All right, Jeff, I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. Your call, very good, as always. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action.
Let me ask you, do you guys think Trump wants to get arrested in this case on a gag order? Do you think he wants them to order him jailed? Yes or no? What do you think? Not will it happen, does Trump want it to happen? What do you think? I think so. I think he does. Yeah. More yeses than nos, but there are some, maybe evenly split. No, the yeses are in the majority. Yeah. Let me see. Ian? Hello? Hello? I'm waiting for Ian, our travel agent, to call. Let me see. Oh, here we got Ian. Okay.
Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We're, getting closer than ever to our 5th annual Steve Kane Show Maga cruise. We leave April 27th. And on the line, we have our travel agent who handles all of our cruises from Cruise and Travel Depot, Ian. Hey, Ian.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, before I'm going to catch you off guard. Before we talk about the cruise, because there's got great things to talk about, I'm sure you've seen this plane in Russia where Russian Muslims heard there were Jews on a plane and thousands stormed the airport. It's frightening. Never seen anything like this. And I just want to get you and I haven't talked on the air, but about this since this attack happened on Israel on the 7th. But can you tell the audience a little bit about your background in relation to Israel? And I want to just talk to you a little bit about what's going on.
Well, certain members of my family fled the Nazis in the 1930s after the Anschluss and have been was the British mandate for Palestine and Israel since the 1930s.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a connection going on, and this wave of anti-Semitism, and I was talking to you on the phone on Friday. I have never seen in this country anti-Semitism on the level that we are seeing it right now, and I don't know where the ADL. I don't see the national leaders we used to have come out saying no more to this really frightening anti-Semitism that we're seeing on a global scale right now. It's frightening. Yeah.
Transformed into just another leftist organization by Jason Greenblatt, who was a Obama administration official, and they don't seem to really care about Jewish causes anymore.
No. But what I keep telling people is this just sickening anti-Semitic activity we're seeing on our university. I think people are shocked at how much anti-Semitism is taking place in this country. I don't think people realized how many terrorist Muslims there were in our country, and I think it's frightening the living daylights out of people. And as a family descended from Holocaust survivors, it's just got to be just frightening and disgusting for you. Now, we're coming up to our cruise April 27th on the Celebrity Beyond, the flagship of celebrity cruise lines, and this is the cruise we were going to take, but COVID came in to the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, and the ship is filling up, and we were out of the balcony veranda rooms, but you've been able to grab some more of these balcony veranda rooms. Can you tell people a little bit about that?
Sure. I have some E2 infinite veranda staterooms that I'm holding on to, for people, but if they're interested, they've got to call and make full deposit on it immediately.
Yeah.
We hold them before I have to release them back into general inventory.
Yeah, now I know not everybody wants a balcony, and all that stuff. I love it because at night in my room, I have the door open all night long, and I sleep well to the ocean sounds as we're steaming across the Caribbean Sea. And I love it. I know some people don't mind portholes and all that stuff. I like to have an open balcony, and I like to get up in the morning and have my coffee and breakfast on the balcony out on the ocean. It's just a beautiful thing. And these will not be there for long, so you want to call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. And the other thing we got to talk about, Ian, are the shore excursions. We have shore excursions in every port, and in one port we have two. We just have a few seconds, but can you tell people quickly about our shore excursions?
Absolutely. In Aruba, we've got a private catamaran that's going to take us snorkeling and for a beach barbecue, open bar, of course. In Curacao, you're right, we have two excursions because there's so much to do there. We have a city tour that's going to take us to the Blue Curacao Distillery for tastings and cocktails. It's a really fun trip. I've been there. And then we have a sunset catamaran tour after that excursion's over with open bar, a beautiful tour around the island. And in Bonaire, which is going to be our relaxing beach day, we have a city tour. And then we have, we're going to be taken to a private beach club, just our group.
Yeah, and is there open bar there as well?
There is not open
bar. Oh! Oh, some drinks. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. There's free alcohol in every one of our excursions. That's partly my request, and we enjoy that. But listen, the shore excursions we are taking are spectacular. They are exclusive to our group. No one else is able to go on these except those people in our group. And if you have already booked and you've made your full deposit, you can schedule your shore excursions online on the Celebrity Cruise Line website. But if you're having trouble with that, you can call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. He can help you set up those shore excursions. You want to get locked in on those. I will be on all of them with you, okay? And if you would like to grab one of those infinite veranda balcony rooms or just join us on the cruise in general, call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. His number 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. This is our 5th cruise, and it's our biggest group yet. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon.
And Brian, thank you so much for standing up for Israel, for the Jewish community, the community that's been here since colonial America.
Exactly.
Country. We notice and we appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot, take care. All right, we'll go back to the phones. Yeah, I mean, it's what's going on here is just it's unimaginable. Words do not even hardly describe. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Pete from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Pete, what's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question that's been on my mind, and I didn't get a chance really to call in much last week. But with Sidney Powell and Mark Meadows and these people, when they testify and against President Trump, which they're saying they're going to or whatever, isn't that grounds for disbarment or?
What do you mean? Well, if you're an attorney, I mean, I'm not an attorney, okay? But my understanding is that if you are an attorney and you break attorney-client confidentiality, even in the course of a subpoena and courtroom testimony, you can be disbarred.
Well, that's what I'm.
In fact, that's if you guys go back, The Firm, which was the book, and then they made the movie with Tom Cruise, the whole. Yeah, the Grisham movie and book, right? The Firm, the whole thing was Tom Cruise's character. He found out he was a mob attorney. He couldn't break attorney-client privilege. He didn't want to get disbarred, so he came up with this big scheme so he didn't have to do that. That's what the whole movie was about, if you remember correctly. So yeah, it's scary, but that's true what you said.
Well, I hear you talking about, if they do this, they're going to be broke and they can't afford, but, if they do it, they're going to be disbarred. They're not going to be able to make any more money anyway as they be able to write books and stuff. I don't know, but.
Really, who's going to buy Sidney Powell's book if she testifies against Trump? No one. No one. You wouldn't be able to give those books away.
Right. Absolutely. And well, I just, that's been a question on my mind for a few days and so.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question, and you're correct. Yeah, they'd be open to disbarment. But Trump said that Sidney Powell was never his attorney officially, so that wouldn't necessarily apply for her. But she's almost 70 years old. I think she's done practicing. Who would hire her? I mean, how would you trust any of these people? If they're attorneys who have testified against a client, who would ever trust them to hire them for legal services?
Well, not me, that's for sure.
I mean, there's a Fox reporter, Catherine Herridge. She's facing jail because she won't give a source on a story she reported on Fox. But these attorneys are testifying against a client, and they're not standing up. All right, hey, listen, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for your call. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show.
Oh boy, oh boy. Where is that story? Oh. There. I'll be right back, guys. I told Mike that someone in the chat had complimented his shirt. I said, thank you. Well, I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. I got a sneeze coming on like nobody's business. Oh my goodness. You know, when I was talking to Ian about our shore excursions, nobody else on the ship is allowed on our excursions. We have our own private shore excursions is what I meant. I don't know if I was clear about that. So if you're coming, it'll only be our group and our excursions. Yeah, my allergies have been bad the last week. Oh, good luck at the doctor, Charmaine. How many, in the chat, let me know just the number. How many Trump speeches did you watch this weekend? There were 3. So 1, 2, all 3. The first one was so short. Yeah, I watched all 3 too. 3. 2. All right, here we go.
Celebrating 46 years of...
All right, welcome back. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay.
Hey, how you doing? I got an opinion.
Well, wait a minute. You asked how I was doing, and you just started talking. Don't you want to know? I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, great.
Doing pretty good.
Good to hear.
All right. My situation back when this situation situation happened with Israel, I didn't like what I seen with them killing those babies and those people and what they did. It was horrible. See, to me, a person is a person. I'm not looking at their Jew or I'm not looking at their Palestinian. I'm looking at their human beings. And what the first attack did by killing all them people was horrible. But what I'm watching now is horrific. I'm watching more babies die. I'm watching more people die. I'm watching nursing homes being bombed, hospitals being bombed. Those people don't even have food, water. They have nothing. So I'm watching Israel do an attack that's worse than anything I've ever seen. So I don't understand how they think this is even, because Palestinians, they should die, but the Jews should not. Nobody should die. That's my...
Okay, so let me ask you. So when that attack on Israel was the worst terrorist attack since 9/11 in this world, what should their response have been? Just suck it up?
No, they needed to respond. But do you look at the response? Do you see how bad?
Well, tell me how they could respond in a way that would prevent future attacks.
Do you realize that people can't even feed their kids? No water. They're stopping them from having water.
Well, I okay, but tell me what effective tell me. Yes.
Okay with that?
Yes.
Why?
Because they, I'll give you my answer after you answer my question. What would be an appropriate, in your opinion, response from Israel from that attack that would stop future attacks?
They need to go after Hezbollah, and they need to go after them in those caves, and maybe on a ground invasion, and not just destroy the whole entire country by bomb.
Well, the problem is what the terrorists do is they put their equipment and operations where civilians are. So it's Hamas that is putting the civilians in danger, not Israel.
In danger, but Israel is killing them.
Well, I don't want to see anyone die, but excuse me, in the Second World War, we defeated Germany because the same way we beat Japan. We had a massive bombing campaign on Dresden, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, to break the will of the people to support to stop supporting these tyrannical governments. And when you're in a total war situation, I'm a pacifist, but when you're in a total war situation, that's the only way to end it.
I have to admit, I was okay with that because it had to stop the war, and it was on the side, and that's the way it went. But then we didn't get to watch and see the people die.
I mean, as a well, I didn't know you were old enough to see the bombing of Dresden or the dropping of the bombs. And you remember the bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima? You remember that? You're that old? Come on. To remember that? Steve doesn't even remember that. He was alive, but I don't think he remembers it. Okay, all right, okay. Well, you said you remembered it, Okay, I want you to think about this. How many civilians were killed and lost everything they had in the South to free the slaves during the Democrat insurrection known as the Civil War?
Wow.
No, was it the right thing to do for the United States Army to burn down the plantations and the infrastructure of the Confederacy?
You asked me to answer your question, and then you said you was going to answer me.
Oh, you don't have an answer for that?
Just ask me another question.
Okay, what's your question? What's your question again?
My question is, why is it okay for you to watch to see these other babies and everything dying, and you don't have it?
Well, Israel has given weeks and opened up a border for people to leave with their family. If I got word that Florida was facing mass bombing and the people that were going to do it gave me 2 or 3 weeks' notice, I'd get out of Florida with my family. So the people that are in Gaza still with children are there from one of two reasons. Either they're by choice or the terrorists won't let them leave.
No gas, no water, no food. How are they supposed to go? How?
No, it's a small area. You could walk it. You could walk to the border. It's a small little area for weeks.
So now they're considered a bunch of savages. They're not white.
No, they chose to stay, or they're being held hostage by Hamas.
Do you realize that Israel is taking over Palestinians' land in the first place?
Well, they should. They should they should take it all over and deport all the Palestinians to the Muslim countries. So now that I answered your question, was it the right thing to do for the United States government to declare total war on the civilian slave-owning population of the South and kill them and destroy their industries and homes to free the slaves?
To that, with the fact that why did the white man take us as slaves and you 500?
That's not an answer. That's another question, okay? The Republicans, led by Abraham Lincoln, said there would be no more slavery. And when the Democrats started their insurrection by firing on Fort Sumter, the United States Republican government invaded the South and burned down everything. They burned down the cities, the plantations, they tore up the railroads, they burned the farmland and everything to free the slaves.
Who cares if they're Republican or Democrat?
No. Was it the right thing to do to destroy the South and the Southern people? Was it the right thing to do to free the slaves?
The only thing a black man sees is they're a white man. They don't care.
Okay. All right, Jay. Thank you for your call. See, he can't agree with that because then it would shoot down his pro-terrorist narrative. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
Weston. How are you?
All right.
You know, when you listen to that guy at the end there, you know, the root of his commentary is the root of really what he wants to get across, which is anti-Jew, anti-white, pro-everything that is not really supposed to be supported. What Hamas has done, and everyone knows this, is not profound statements, but they've dug themselves into the fabric of that Palestinian society, setting up in hospitals, setting up in schoolhouses. There's going to be only one way to get them out, and that's unfortunately going to have a lot of collateral damage. And if anything, people should be embracing the fact that Netanyahu, and even in this case, it sure looks like Joe Biden, finally doing something quasi-normal with his administration, is to go in and just root this thing out. And the collateral damage is going to be what it's going to be, and it's tragic and it's terrible, but it's the only way to get rid of the bad apples in the bunch.
Well, I used Germany and Japan. I mean, I'm a pacifist. I'm against violence and war. None of us want that except Biden because he's a war profiteer. But the Israelis gave 2 or 3 weeks for the civilians to get out, and they didn't. So what are they supposed to do? Let these terrorists go on with what they're doing because they either wouldn't leave or would not allow the civilians to leave? Come on.
100%. And I'm really, I'm awestruck in 2023 at the level of anti-Semitism that still exists and in our country and what's going on in the high schools and the universities. I mean, my God, whoever has gotten in between the ears of the next generation has really gotten in between.
Well, I don't know about, anti-Semitism has always been around, but it was a very small thing in this country. It really died off until now. We had this massive wave of Muslim immigrants that Obama brought here. That's why Trump had the Muslim ban, because we had an open border of Muslims being flown in and shipped in for the Obama 8 years. And what we're seeing in this country is a result of it. Did you see the Muslims that went after that plane in Russia filled with Israelis?
Yeah. They have the flight that came out of Tel Aviv. Get them all now. And even though there were no Jews on that plane, the fact is then they said they had to take the Jews that were in the airport and move them to Moscow because the airport's being overrun. I don't understand.
Yeah, but yeah. Putin's doing more to protect the Jews than Biden. Biden's funding Palestinians still. You know what happened with that airplane is word got out on the street in the Muslim community that there were Jews on the plane, and thousands of Muslims rushed the plane. Thank the Lord above that the Russian, I don't know if that was this like special police or army, but those Russian authorities came in and stopped the Muslim. What would happen if they would have gotten to that plane without the Russian military or police stopping it? What would they have done to the people that they suspected were Jews on that plane? They would have killed them.
They would have killed them. They would have beat them and killed them and tortured them and cut their heads off and killed their children, kept them alive, and everyone would have been okay with that because it's just a few more Jews. So I'm
well because hear what they're saying. Because they're colonizers. Colonizing Palestinian land. That's their new thing. Listen, Lewis, I'm late for the break. Thanks for the call. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
It's that time of the year again, Florida. That's right. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. This year, why not let United Healthcare guide you through the process to select a Medicare Advantage plan? Whether you choose our easy-to-use online tools or speak with our Medicare plan experts by phone, we can help you find the right United Healthcare plan for your needs and budget. With United Healthcare, you'll feel confident that you're choosing a plan that's right for you.
He's hearing the delay,
This
not-
is Medicare, made for Florida. Trusted everywhere.
Is there
Let
something-
us help guide you through our wide
I mean, it got better when I took him off the OL, but he needs that so the callers can hear him.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything else, do you?
UHC 1-855 MEET UHC or go to UHC.com to see your
I don't see anything else it could be.
annual
Yeah, I don't
enrollment
think there's
begins
anything
October
else.
15th
I
and
don't
ends December 7th.
think so.
contact
Okay, let me see.
United Healthcare today and find your Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare plan expert, like
Unless I'm missing something. I just put the OL back on for them. They said it got better when I turned it off, but
Yeah, you might be able to.
the callers won't hear him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd hear him without it. I might not. I don't know.
That's actually a good.
I don't know.
Good question. I don't know because I always just knew.
Yeah.
Because he could talk on the air.
Mhm.
Audition so records him and then.
Yeah.
OL for. Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, I think that might be connected to you as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see.
Huh. It should be fine when he gets on there.
We'll find out.
But I'll be back in.
Yeah. I hate doing that on the air.
Yeah, it's just so weird. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've never been on the
Call us at 754-222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Something up here, but
I don't see anything that's not where it normally is. Steve, can you hear me? Guess yeah. All right, callers on hold, stand by. You know, here it is Monday morning, and I know a lot of you guys and ladies, you're waking up in pain because you were doing something over the weekend. You know, you were golfing, playing tennis. You know, Matthew Perry was playing pickleball before he died all day. That's a big thing. doing yard work around the house, doing something that you wouldn't do during the week, and you wake up on Monday and you're, oh man, my back hurts, my knee hurts, I'm in pain, go see Dr. Appleton. And you can see Dr. Appleton today because appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome. Talk to him about his laser wave pain treatment. It works. And with the laser wave pain treatment, there are no injections, no downtime, no surgery, and no drugs. Dr. Appleton's my chiropractor. He's done amazing work, ridding me of pain 5 times. And he does all of the laser wave pain treatments himself, which is pretty impressive. And the laser wave pain treatment works on so many different types of pain: rotary tears, herniated discs, acute pain, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, sciatica, spinal stenosis, neck and back injuries, knee pain, sprains and strains, arthritis, bursitis. You can find Dr. Appleton online at AppletonChiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Vicki, and I'm calling from South Carolina.
Hey, Vicki.
How are you this morning?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm blaming the media, and I'm blaming the world governance and the UN for this atrocity, because remember you were saying the other day that the UN never backed the original attack in Israel by condemning it. There was only 23 people, and then we voted. And
I want you guys to think about this. Putin saved a plane load of people on a Russian runway from a mob of thousands of Muslims who were going to kill the people on the plane. How many people has Biden saved over there? He's funding the Palestinians. At the same time, he's funding the Israelis. I mean, that leads to problems.
Well, I commend him for that because I think he has a bit of humanity.
No, he gets a cut. He's a war profiteer. He's funding both sides. When do you fund? You don't fund both sides in a war. You fund one side.
Yeah, unless you're a profiteer.
Correct.
Here's the thing: is these outbursts throughout the Ivy League colleges and that. Aren't the students being protected from this?
Because the professors and the people that run the university agree with the terrorist supporters.
Well, I know that, but I'm thinking, if Putin sent in his people to put down the crowd, why aren't we sending in our police forces?
Because our government, listen, you see Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and others in Congress that are attacking Israel, blaming Israel for the attacks. Okay, every one of them is a Democrat. So these anti-Semitic, Israel-hating, terrorist-supporting people around this country are Democrats. And the country is being run by Democrats, so they don't want to go in and shut down their constituents.
I know, because, the only way it could be done would be FBI agents, and they are the terror.
Yeah, and you're sadly mistaken if you think Biden has any humanity inside of him.
Well, I was talking about Putin.
Oh, Putin. Putin definitely does. Putin saved those people on the airplane. They would have been dead if it wasn't for Putin over the weekend.
On the beach,
Asleep.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, thank you for your call. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
It's Terry. I'm from Florida.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, my soul is saddened, man, with this thing going on with Israel, And, but the Bible said that these things would happen. The Bible said that they were going to be hated of all men. All men will hate them, because of who they are, God's chosen people. And so they're going through this. But see, the way I look at it is that they attacked Israel first. So what? Israel doesn't have a right to protect themselves?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying that Israel brought this upon themselves, is what they're saying.
No, they attacked Israel first.
Correct.
And killed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, if they didn't respond, they wouldn't be human.
Yeah.
They killed babies. They killed women. They killed a lot of Israelites or Israel people. And so they have to respond. You know what I mean? You can't just kill people and just get away with it.
Yeah, and what happened to that girl they kidnapped on the back of the motorcycle? Haven't heard anything about her since October 7th.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. But the thing is, the Bible said these things were going to happen, and that Israel was going to be chased, by people who hate them. Things are not going to get better. It's just going to get worse. And I hate to say this.
No, when Trump is reelected in 2024, this will end on a dime. He will end this on a dime.
Yeah, right. If he ends anything, he's going to get up in the synagogue and say he's God.
No, he's not going to say he's God.
No, but he feels like he's God.
No, he doesn't. No.
But see, I don't want to even talk about Trump right now.
Oh, the Trump derangement syndrome kicked in.
No, but my point is that the thing with Israel.
What does your doctor prescribe for your Trump derangement syndrome?
I have no doctor.
Oh, that's the problem.
Syndrome, as you might call it. But my point is, man, is just this evil that Israelites are going through. I wish it was something that I could do. Yeah.
There is something you could do. Vote Trump. Vote Trump. That would save Israel. Yes.
Trump ain't gonna do nothing. Trump gonna get up there and destroy it.
Ain't gonna do nothing is a double negative, which makes that a positive, saying Trump's gonna do everything to stop it. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, this is Joan from Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan.
2 points. Before Israel bombs anything, they send out leaflets to let them know what's going to happen.
Correct.
Number 2, why won't these Arab countries that are Muslim surrounding the area will not take in Palestinians?
Because the whole purpose of this two-state solution nonsense and all of this is to harass the Jews. These Muslim countries hate Jews, just like these college students do here, or this Twitch streamer I was talking about earlier from the Young Turks. And they have the Palestinians in Gaza to harass the Jews. That's why.
So they're not taking in their own people.
No, they're not taking them in, but there are thousands of Palestinians in these Muslim countries. There are Palestinians who live in Muslim countries. Yeah.
Not taking in refugees.
No, because if they take in all the Palestinians from Gaza, they won't be there to harass Israel. You understand what I'm saying? They just want them there to continue to harass Israel forever because they hate the Jews.
And then make Israel look bad.
Well, they want to destroy Israel.
Right, but so they're not taking in refugees.
Correct.
They're leaving them stranded because they want to make Israel look
Yeah, but Biden wants to bring them here. The Palestinians. Like we don't have enough if you turn on the college campus protest. Yeah. I know it's scary.
I turn those on. I work from home, so I have my home computer on one thing and my work computer on another.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yes, it's extremely scary.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I mean, so their own people, their own religion is not allowing them
Correct.
to seek refuge.
Correct. Because they want Israel to be they want collateral damage because that hurts Israel too. That helps further their goal of ending Israel's existence. Yeah, that's correct. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Well, we have 1 hour to go. The show has flown by. Those of you on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with more calls, and there's a lot more to cover, too. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2331. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to a great start. We're going to see a daytime high today somewhere in the lower to mid-80s, partly cloudy skies and breezy conditions. I'm WBBM 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true Oldies traffic check.
Now, guys, listen. I have the link in the description of the video as well as pinned to the top of the chat. This is our personal MyPillow page, and the deals you will find at that link are far greater than the ones that I'm advertising on the radio. That's mypillow.com/Kane. Now, you still have to use our promo code Kane at checkout for these deals, but you'll find the biggest deals on MyPillow products right there. The MyPillow towel sets, 50% off. The MyPillow 2.0 with the temperature regulating technology, 50% off. $100 off the MyPillow My Slippers. That's all there at that link, and there's a whole bunch of others too of specials. 50% off the Mattress Topper 2.0. Huge discounts on all the top MyPillow products are at that link. There's even a Christmas section. If you go to the very bottom of that page, there's a whole bunch of Christmas items. Christmas blankets, tree skirts, stockings, hats and scarves and pillows and all kinds of stuff. Great Christmas gifts, but those are the extra specials when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, of course. But click that link. It's in the description, but if you're watching live, you can get it right there pinned to the top of the chat. Hey, there's a... Hey, Mike, I think I know what's doing it, maybe. Typically, the foam pot is only an A, and it's because I took a picture of it a long time ago, and it's locked in A and B. They're still hearing the crosstalk, and I can't get that to shut off. It's usually just an A. I don't know how to unlock it.
It's supposed to be able to do it with the off, but I don't know why.
Yeah, because
when that power outage happened, when the board got messed up with it, remember we have to switch it. That had both on, so I don't know why it's different now.
Yeah, he's still hearing both.
Hold on, go back.
The mini's off. but the phone is an A and B, and that's usually just on A. The Comrex is the same. The Mini is the same. The Mix is fine. I'm fine. Everything over here is the same.
Well, if he's saying he's here with the delay, that would be something with the mix, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what
I mean...
Go back to the board real quick.
Okay. Only thing I did was turn the OL off on the mix.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, the third hour has begun. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve with us. Hey, Steve. All right, you're with us today. Great. Well, lots has happened. Did you see the footage at the airport in Russia? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Steve. The Russian Muslims heard there might be Jews on a plane. Thousands stormed the airport. Luckily, Putin stepped in and rescued the passengers, but it was one of the most frightening anti-Semitic incidents, I think, of the modern era. I've never seen anything like it.
Fox, and it was excellent, I must say.
Yeah.
I'm kind of partial to Fox.
Yeah.
They had a rundown of everything that was going on and an update on the weekend's activities, and it created a picture that was, I wouldn't want to be a Palestinian, let's just...
Well, I don't know. Look, I mean, some of the footage I saw, there was a march in Paris. Is France a Muslim country now?
France has always had
Well, not like this.
strong Russian presence.
Muslim. There are so many Muslims on the streets of Paris you couldn't see sidewalk or concrete. And this incident at the airport, which they went through the terminal to the tarmac, a plane landed from Tel Aviv, and they heard that there were Israelis on board. I don't know how they heard it, and thousands of Muslims rushed to the airport. Never seen anything as frightening. Luckily, they didn't get. If the Russians wouldn't have had soldiers there to stop them, they would have killed everybody on that plane. It's all right. Well, let me give out the number. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Yeah.
Audiences I frequently do for reference on some of what I heard last night on the Fox broadcasting. It was my old friend who I like so much, Mark Levin, big Mark Levin fan, had some scary stuff as he was checking out last night from his show. Basically, it was a warning from Donald Trump that there's some real danger here in terms of this fight for the nomination that Donald is going to be going through in the next couple.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
There's any people that have any insight into that, but
I'll tell you what their plan is. But can we take a call or two first, and I'll tell you what their plan is. And they've got this. The Never Trumpers have a bizarre scheme that they think will result in Trump not getting the nomination. I'll tell you what it is.
One thing, it's whatever it is. Mark Levin was taking it seriously because the message he gave his audience was direct from Donald Trump.
Oh,
it's a warning that to be very aware of what's about to occur in terms of attempting.
Keep him off the ballot. Well, I missed that. So if anybody saw Levin last night, call in and let us know. Well, let's take a couple calls, and I'll tell you what their latest scheme is against Trump. These Never Trumpers. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Renee from Harlem.
Hey, Renee.
Yeah. Well, I've got a few things to tell you guys. You are very much like Christopher Columbus and Custer and the so-called Israelis who are not Hebrew Israelites are going to go the way of Ruth.
Well, excuse me, I'm a little confused by your reference. Because take it in reverse. You said Custer. My understanding, Custer, his claim to fame is that he was a 21-year-old general who fought to free the slaves during the Civil War, and then he was massacred by some Indians. I don't understand why you wouldn't honor Custer. He helped free your ancestors. And so far as Columbus, now you're in Harlem. If Columbus had not discovered America, would you be living in Native American Indian occupied territory of Harlem, New York? I don't understand.
In Ghana.
Ghana? But you could go to Ghana now. Why don't you go to Ghana now?
The is your people dragged us.
No, excuse me, Steve. Don't they have an airport? If you live in Harlem, they have an airport in New York, right? Yeah, they got an airport in New York, and I do believe you might have to transfer. I know maybe you don't like layovers. You might have to take a layover or two, but I do think that airplanes travel to Ghana from New York City.
The Hebrew Israelites.
No. I'm confused. Why are you a colonizer? Why are you living in occupied American Indian territory instead of going to your dreamland of Ghana that you mentioned?
It's not my dreamland. That's where I came from.
You're from Ghana? Wait a minute. You're an immigrant from Africa?
No. If you shut up for a second, I can tell you.
You said you're from...
Be polite.
You said you're from Ghana.
If you would be quiet, I'll try to explain what's going down. The people that were taken in the transatlantic slave trade, those are the real Hebrew Israelites. You people are converts who adopted an ethnicity. You can't convert to an ethnicity.
So you're a Jew?
We're the real Hebrew Israelites. You ever heard of Kanye West? You heard of Irving?
Yeah, Kanye West. He's the mental patient, right? And by the way, Kanye West loves Trump. So are you with Kanye or not? Yeah, so Kanye's MAGA.
Not with Kanye. I'm not with...
Well, you cited him as a credible source for your other thing, so...
Is citing the source that he's gotten his information from, which is the Hebrews to Negroes that got Kyrie banned from the...
Okay. So if the United States... You're in Harlem. Harlem is U.S. occupied Indian territory. Israel is being occupied by colonizers. Where do you belong?
I belong in Jerusalem.
What would you do in Jerusalem?
All of you out.
What does that mean?
What I just said.
Oh, you would purge the Jews from Israel. And then what would you do after that? And then what would you do? Tell me. Okay. So you're a Jew? Are you a Jew?
All the Negro, all the African, so-called African Americans, they're the real Hebrew.
The real Israelites. Okay, so what does that mean? Like, tell me about your Jewish Hebrew religion.
Took in slavery.
Tell me about your Hebrew religion. What do you believe?
It's not a religion, it's a nationality.
So being a Hebrew has nothing to do with like being Jewish, the Old Testament, Moses, and all that stuff.
That's a nationality. Boy, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The Hebrews were a people.
So this is interesting. So it's Monday, guys, and maybe I'm slow. So are you advocating that Kanye West and you, Renee, from Harlem, are going to go to Jerusalem and live in what is being claimed as Palestinian territory? You believe that black people should have that territory, not the Palestinians either?
Well, actually, Actually, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Do what you people are doing, which is genocide.
Well, so say that you and Kanye kick out all the Jews and you guys, the black Israelites, take over Israel. What do you think Hamas's response to that would be?
That's going to happen naturally.
Yeah, but what would the response of Hamas be if all of a sudden Kanye and you and the black Israelites took over Israel? Do you think Hamas would say, wow, we've got the true Hebrews here now, we're going to stop bombing?
Man, you're so ignorant. You don't listen. I'm telling you right now, through a divine authority, that place is going to be cleaned out.
Okay, all right. What's that saying you have, Steve? You can't play handball off a wet mattress? That's what I'm doing with him. A wet mattress for a brain. Oh, my goodness. You know what? You know why I think people like him think they're the true Jews? I think, Steve, it's part of their anti-Semitism. They think the Jews have all the money, so if they're declared the real Jews, they'll get all the money. They'll control all the banks. You know what I'm talking about? I don't understand this black Israelite thing. I don't know what that's all about. I really don't.
In the week.
That is true. But, well, it's early in the week, but we're late for a break, so we'll take a break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingle, clay and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors. At Laporta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Hey, my true oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. We are back. I'm Brian. Steve is here now. It's Christmas shopping season, okay? And when it comes to Christmas shopping, there's only one place you need to do your Christmas shopping, and that is MyPillow.com. And with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, there are huge sales on top MyPillow products. I just want to talk briefly about the MyPillow bathrobes. I have one. My wife has one. And, you know, like everything else Mike Lindell makes, the MyPillow bathrobes are incredibly high quality. I got our robes when they first came out, which was years ago now, and they are like the day we got them. Because, you know, we wash them, dry them, but everything Mike Lindell makes is such high quality, they last and last and last. Now, there's a huge discount on the MyPillow bathrobes going on right now with our promo code KANE at checkout. In fact, their lowest price ever. They have robes for men and women. They have a heavier robe and a lighter robe if you want the lighter robe, and they have a whole bunch of new colors in as well. They have pink for the ladies, a new blue, a couple of new blues I've not seen before, and there's several other new colors as well. These make great Christmas gifts, and they make great gifts for his and hers too. They also make great gifts for anyone on your gift-giving list, including children. Kids love bathrobes. Grandkids love bathrobes. So go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code Kane. Remember, you can use our promo code Kane on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones I highlight. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. How are you doing? Hi, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you today? Brian, I did see the video of the airport scene in Russia. That was terrifying. That was really something. Anybody who hasn't seen that should take a look at it. Do you think now that any flights flying out of Israel are going to have to call ahead and make sure there's some type of security at the airport they're going to land it?
Well, I wouldn't. Thankfully, Putin stepped in and protected the passengers of that plane from Israel. My goodness, and it's nice to see that unlike Biden, Putin's running flights to get people out that are trying to escape. But I wouldn't fly to Russia, at least not that part of Russia.
Did they call ahead and know there was a big crowd there, or?
My guess is the plane flew in from Tel Aviv. I've heard mixed reports. Some have said there were not Jews on board. Some have said there were. My guess is someone from the airport sent word out to the local Muslim community and said there's a plane flying in from Tel Aviv. And if you watch, have you seen the footage, Steve? I mean, there were thousands of Muslims in that airport. They first went through the terminal and then out on the tarmac. And I've never seen anything like that. What would have happened if Putin didn't have his soldiers stop them, Brian? What do you think they would have done?
You would have had a very ugly scene with people surrounding that plane on the tarmac, and God knows what they're going to try and do. I mean...
And I've heard also that Putin has evacuated many Jews to Moscow from that area for their protection.
Okay, that was very... I also saw the march in France. Brian, that was a huge friggin' crowd.
I've never seen anything like it. The size was the largest crowd of people I think I've ever seen anywhere.
Well, didn't it look like hundreds of thousands of people on that?
Easily.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't know how the bridge held them. There were so many people going over those bridges, over the river, I don't know how it held them. I've never seen so many people.
So did you watch, hold on, let me ask you a question. Did you see any of the Fox programming last night?
I saw a little bit of the Levin thing. I didn't see the end of it, though. I just caught it for about 5 or 10 minutes. That was all.
Because we're looking for somebody, in fact, Brian, you were saying that you...
Well, I know one of their schemes, and this probably wasn't what Levin was talking about, because Levin's, from a legal perspective, I know there's 2 states, one of them's Minnesota, I can't remember the other state, where they're trying to keep Trump off the ballot. They're going to court to try to keep Trump off the ballot in Minnesota, and I forgot the other state. But this is what their plan is. If you notice, Pence dropped out over the weekend. He was the third to drop out. So their latest fantasy of the Never Trumpers is, well, someone's going to come in second place, and they think that the more people they get to drop out, and it's going to be narrowed down to DeSantis and Nikki Haley. There's pressure being put on DeSantis to drop out and just leave Nikki Haley. They're thinking that the second place person is going to come in second place, but not 60 points behind. But it's Trump's 62 points ahead in Iowa or something right now. They think they'll only be 30 or 40 points behind, and they're going to declare that a win, that they have momentum moving forward.
Mark Levin was talking about, in essence, was basically they're getting ready to throw Trump.
Oh well, yeah, okay, that could be the gag orders. They got the judge in D.C., the Jamaican-born judge appointed by Obama, who was Hunter Biden's boss at the law firm and had Burisma as a client. She brought the gag order back. Trump is not even allowed to criticize Jack Smith, the prosecutor. So either her or the judge in New York or both could order him taken to jail over violating the gag order. Yeah.
It's not a far-fetched, thing that this actually was in the works.
Yeah, well, I think Trump wants that. I think he wants them to try to put him in jail.
Did you think Mark Levin looked a little upset of the material he was reading? Like he's really taking it to heart a little bit? That he can't believe what he's reading, how terrible what's going on.
He looks pretty upset to me.
Yeah.
He saved this particular remark to the end of his show. He closed with it.
Well, the thing is that, I think Trump is poking them a little bit. He wants them to order him jailed. And the way it'll happen, and I think so. I mean, after the judge in New York put in the gag order, he came out and criticized the judge right after that. So what happens? They're in court. Trump's in court. The judge says you violated the gag order. I'm ordering you held in the local jail for 10 days. Bailiff, go handcuff Mr. Trump. What happens? What does the Secret Service do?
Yeah.
Do they stop the bailiff, or do they allow the bailiff to take President Trump and they just go to the jail with him? What happens?
I don't know. I mean, I tell you one thing, guys. We have a year coming ahead of us. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff we never.
What do you think, Steve? What do you think the Secret Service will do?
I think it's very scary, and I think we should take what Mark Levin is saying more seriously than many.
Oh, I think if they hold him in contempt and want to put him in jail, that's a good that'll help us. You think the mugshot helped? Oh, it'll be yeah, Steve. He'll become Nelson Mandela. Then we'll have the visual of him being a political prisoner. Absolutely. Yes, and I think Trump's aware of that.
We are not going to have a boring day for the next year because this is just unprecedented what we're.
Well, there might be a break where it is a little boring. That period of time of people that listen to the Joyce Kaufman show, they may be bored, but not here. All right, thanks for the call. All right, we'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
So let me know in the chat where you're located. Where are you guys? Like what city or state or country are you in? Sometimes I ask people that in the chat, but I usually do it earlier in the stream, not this late. So we might get some different answers later in the show. Michigan, New Hampshire, Liverpool, UK, Charlotte, North Carolina, Northeast Indiana, New Mexico, Arizona, Florida, Jackson, New Jersey, Southern Illinois, Texas, Pennsylvania, Urbandale, Iowa, Titusville, Florida, Dixon, Illinois, Boyhood, home of Ronald Reagan, wow, Connecticut, Ohio, Orlando, New Hampshire, Texas, Maga, California, oh my goodness, that must be a small town, California, Philly, Maine, Kansas, Boynton Beach, right down the street, UK, awesome, Vero Grant, I can't pronounce that last word, Texas, Torrington, Wyoming, Amsterdam, welcome, Holiday, Florida, West Palm Beach, El Paso, 40 degrees. It's nice here. Don't be fooled by the sweatshirt. It's nice. The weather's great. Yuma, Arizona. Oh. But we know where Jeff's from. Jeff from Maine. Bangor, Maine, 35 degrees. Oh my goodness. If it was 35 here, they would shut everything down. Schools would be closed. Oh, by the way, this shooter in Maine, okay? Now, when the first day after that happened, I was on the air. I remember Jeff called in, and I said, these guys are never within 5 miles of where they always catch them within 5 miles. Sure enough, they got him across the street, and then how long? I did not see how long he was dead. And I've heard two things now. One said a dumpster, one said a trailer. Was he dead there the whole time, and these cops didn't find him? Did he go right there and do it? Or was he there for days before he took his own life, the shooter in Maine? Does anyone know? I told you, Jeff, he wouldn't be far. There he was. And I'm hearing these cops praise all the chief of this and the captain of that. And the guy was right across the street, and they're doing this international manhunt. Idiots. Keystone Cops. All right, callers on hold, stand by. Oh, Steve, did you see those pictures I bought of you off of eBay yet? I texted them to your wife, and the scary thing is, in those pictures, you are the same age that I am today. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Same age. I didn't realize that. They're on your wife's phone.
Back to this thing that we keep running away from, which was what happened at the end of Mark Levin's show. He quoted Turley, the professor,
yep,
the constitutional professor, who said, it was one of the last things on Mark Levin's show, who said Turley said he was deeply disturbed by the way things were going because he thought the Supreme Court would have interceded by this time, and is shocked that they weren't. View it as a good sign.
Well, I thought, if anybody saw Mark Levin last night, call us, but I thought that the Supreme Court, again, I could be wrong, I didn't think the Supreme Court could just act. Somebody has to go to the court with a motion, right?
My understanding, and again, it's just my understanding, is that they have a whole bunch of cases submitted to them, and they choose which ones.
Trump's people have gone to the Supreme Court, and we haven't heard on these cases, and I don't know about that. If anyone saw Mark Levin, fill us in. Yeah.
Of course, and if it comes from Turley, I mean, he's a.
I like Turley. I like him. I don't like Levin so much, but I like Turley. All right, let's go. We only have one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Hello, Kevin from Delray.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, how you doing? Been listening to a lot of these things this morning. One thing that concerns me, that if Trump goes to jail with that nut job judge that's up, I'm just so worried about what they did to him.
Well, Trump, no matter where, don't worry about Trump, because if they put him in a jail cell, he'll have the Secret Service with him. Of course. Yeah, they can't detach him from that. That's federal law. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yeah, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Steve IB. Listening to Renee is like watching Bart Simpson stick his finger in the light socket and his hair doesn't get frizzy.
Yeah, no.
It's pretty simple, America. It's complicated, but it's simple at the same time. Okay, what they want is simply to dominate the world, okay? That's why they're spread out everywhere in the world, okay? And each little war actions you see happen here and there is just a little small thing based on the bigger picture. The bigger picture is when Hillary sold the uranium to the Iranians, and when Barack dropped, and both of them did, by the way, sold our stuff to the Iranians. And when Barack dropped all those pallets of money, well, that stuff is being used for those. And who walks around in America carrying AK-47s around their shoulders? Well, see, that is here. They are among us. And if we allow Iran to enrich their uranium, which was sold by Hillary and Barack, then they will, in essence, shine a diamond of perfection, meaning that the uranium is ready to be used. When they have that happen, then they're going to rain terror down in whatever country they want in Europe, and they're going to have that global.
Well, if you saw the footage in Paris and in Russia over the weekend, they're already raining a lot of terror. I've never seen so many Muslims in the streets as I saw in Paris over the weekend, and that airport in Russia scared me to death, and I'm in Florida, right? Hey, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Did you change your station?
Yes.
Where are you?
Okay, well, we're on a bunch of radio stations. We're no longer on the AM, so you have to listen. Where are you located?
Pompano Beach.
Okay, well, if you're in Pompano, you can pick us up on 95.3 FM. Yeah, or you can also try 96.9 FM if you're in Pompano, but 95.3 or 96.9, but try 95.3 first. All right, take care. Yes. We're word-of-mouth business around here. People call it open phones. See, if we didn't have open phones, that call would never make it to the air. And look at all that great information we were just able to give people. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Dave in Virginia.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, David.
Good morning, Steve and Brian. You remember what we was talking about before about if they brought charges up on Donald Trump, he could go to the Supreme Court. Well, it sure has happened now, Brian.
Maybe that's what, I think Trump wants, I think he is pushing these judges to put him in jail on a gag order. And if they're, and also, if they're looking to jail him over a gag order violation, that tells me that they don't have a very strong case to convict him of, and they think this is their only way they're going to get him behind bars for that photo they're dying to have.
Yeah.
I think we're whistling past the graveyard here. I don't find this out to be an encouraging scenario. I think it's possible.
Oh, I think it's awesome. Look, Steve, look how high he went up in the polls with just the mugshot. You know, this corrupt judge in D.C., who's Hunter's old boss at the law firm, okay, appointed by Obama,
Have they not appealed? What Turley said yesterday at the end of the Levin was quoted, is that they have not, as of last night, have not filed that case to the Supreme Court.
Maybe they're waiting for a certain thing to happen.
He said he was disturbed by that.
I'm disturbed he's on Fox, not on Trump's team. But Trump, they may be waiting to go to the court until a certain level of things happen, like sending him to jail.
Because it would, if the Supreme Court gets involved, it affects all the states.
Mm-hmm. Well, it would affect the federal cases. I don't know about the local cases.
Well, this might bring.
I mean, if you look, when that last week, he at his speech yesterday, he attacked the federal judge. He said it's unconstitutional, her gag order. So both Trump, Trump, yes. So after the judge in New York issued the gag order and punished him for it with that $10,000 fine, which is less than cigar money for Trump, he came out and attacked the judge right outside the courtroom. Yesterday, the order comes out from this corrupt judge in D.C. that she's bringing back the gag order. He immediately takes the Truth Social and starts talking about it, which is forbidden by the gag order. And Trump's not stupid. I think he's trying to get them to order him to jail because to expose them.
Yep, I do too, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, take care. And I think it'd be great, Steve, because that.
Everybody's wishes are true.
This is what I know. No matter what they've pulled on Trump, they've never won. They got the mug shot, and he went up in the polls higher than any presidential candidate has ever gone. He's broken a record in polls. He's at 62 in Iowa. Okay? That's never happened before. And one of the moves the establishment is making, I saw a story over the weekend that Republicans in Florida are putting pressure on DeSantis to drop out. They have in their mind that Nikki Haley's going to be the person. She's going to be the one to bring down Trump. No MAGA person is going to vote or support anyone other than Trump. And Nikki Haley, she's another war profiteer. One of her first actions when she was first elected governor was she ran for governor in defending the Confederate. She was governor, right, of South Carolina. And the Confederate flag was flying over the State House, and it was a big controversy. And when she ran the first time, she ran on the promise that she would keep the flag there, the Confederate flag at the State House. She got elected. First thing she did was move it. She took it off the State House and started flying it in a park across the street. Now, I'm not a supporter of the Confederate flag, but she lied. She lied to get elected. You cannot trust Nikki Haley. She's a liar. And she's a war profiteer. That's why she wants us to firebomb Iran, because she's got stock in all these war companies like Boeing. Vivek Ramaswamy exposed her on that. So, but they think she's going to be the one to bring down Trump, Steve. In fact, I read this story yesterday. She was at, President Trump gave 3 speeches over the weekend. The one was for that Jewish organization. And I was shocked. I didn't know there were Jews in Iowa. Did you? I had no idea there were, at least certainly not enough. I didn't know there were enough Jews in Iowa to fill up a place, but there are. It's shocking. All the candidates spoke there. That's where Pence dropped out. And Nikki Haley, I read this story yesterday. It was so romantic. Nikki Haley would not leave until she shook the hand of every person who wanted to shake her hand. Oh, wow. And I'm thinking, who really cares to shake Nikki Haley's hand? If Nikki Haley walked in the room, I might, but if I had to walk in the next room, I wouldn't be bothered. I mean, it was this long story about how the people loved her in Iowa, and it was just disgusting. All right, listen, and it was total BS on top of it. Listen, we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to check in with William Youngerman with the first gold and precious metals report of the week, which should be pretty exciting. We'll be right back.
Cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the...
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the first look at the gold and precious metals of the week. And Mondays are always exciting because the metals markets close on Friday and then they reopen Sunday evening. So then you get to see how the week's starting. So how are the metals starting the week off, William Youngerman?
Metals are starting off a little weaker after Friday's very huge surprise rally at the close of the day. Friday we saw gold close or trade in a range between $1,976 and all the way up to $2,010 before closing out the day at $2,005.60 the ounce. That's up $21 on Friday, giving us about the third time we've been through 2,000 recently. So that's a very big push through the resistance area of 2,000. Expecting, of course, some kind of a little bit of a profit taking today, which is what we're seeing. Silver closed up 32 cents on Friday at $23.09 the ounce. Platinum was up $2 at $904, and palladium closed out the week
at $1,108, down $11. As I said, we got a little profit taking in gold this morning, but overnight the range was $1,990 all the way up to $2,007. Currently at $1,997, down $8.60. Silver up another 36 cents this morning at $23.45. Platinum gaining $19 at $923, and palladium up $20 at $1,128 the ounce. So markets are doing very well, and any kind of pullback on gold is a buying opportunity.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. And gold being down, it's a couple bucks shy of 2,000. I remember when we were getting excited, is it going to hit 1,000 and then 1,100? Remember those days? And here we are. I mean, it's insane what's going on. So today, I mean, this is a time to buy in all the metals, but gold. What are some of the particular gold products you have in stock, William Youngman, that you think are the best buys at these incredible prices right now?
Yeah, we have all the gold products in stock right now. But the Eagles have come back down to where they're a good buy. And we, of course, have the kangaroos, the pure gold kangaroos from Australia. And of course, 1 ounce, 10 ounce, and kilo bars.
We
have something for every size. We also have the 1 10th-ounce, quarter ounce, and half-ounce sizes.
That's right, and that's the American Gold Eagle. How about the American Gold Buffalo, which is a beautiful coin? How's that looking right now?
Absolutely. We have those in stock. They're priced at the same price as the Gold Eagles, and they are pure gold. They're beautiful, one of our favorite coins.
Yeah, and those are great for your collection, great just for your investment, or great gifts for Christmas as well. Now listen, William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m., and when he opens up at 10, you can call and lock in your price on your metals as well. Give him a call at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. By the way, online at williamyoungerman.com, or stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of the street. And also with these prices, if you have anything made of the metals, jewelry, old, broken, out-of-date jewelry, anything made of the metals, it's a great time, William Youngman, to bring those in and turn them into cash money, right?
Amen. Yes, that's true.
That's right. That's right. So, hey, listen, Halloween's tomorrow, and then it's holiday shopping season, and that's a great way to get some money for the holidays. All right, William Youngman, we'll talk tomorrow. Back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. So things are looking good, Steve. Don't let Mark Levin get you depressed. Trump going to jail on a gag order violation would be a beautiful thing. I mean, Steve, was it good or bad when they got the mugshot of Trump?
Well, look, let's sum it up. Every arrest he's had up to this point, every court challenge he's had has benefited. It will work to his benefit.
That's right.
In terms of the polls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little nervous about this.
Oh, nervous Nelly. You're always nervous. This is exciting. You know, if Trump was worried, if Trump did not want to go to jail, he wouldn't be attacking the judges still. See, I think one of the reasons all these judges are corrupt, all of them. And the one in no, we haven't gotten to the court yet. But I'm talking about the judges in these cases that are overseeing the Trump cases. The judge in New York, for example, that weirdo kook that kind of has the same personality as Bernie Sanders, you know, he has already been overruled by a higher court, and he says he doesn't care, and so he's totally invalid. And the judge in D.C. with her gag order, remember, she was a partner at Hunter Biden's firm. She was Hunter Biden's boss, right? Hunter Biden's big client at that law firm was Burisma, the Ukrainian company that's involved in all that Biden scandal. That means as a partner, all the clients are her clients. So Burisma was her client, and she took Burisma money because as a partner, she shares in all the profits from all the clients. So we got a Burisma lawyer in D.C., and what these contempt charges will do is start a process of discrediting these judges and getting the cases tossed. These are criminal judges, corrupt judges, corrupt public officials. And Trump is waiting to take these cases to the Supreme Court for some reason that we don't know. But I trust in Trump. Trump yesterday, in his speech yesterday afternoon, said that he has racked up $100 million in legal fees. $100 million in legal fees. You know, he has a different legal team in each one of these cases. And he's racked up $100 million. And he said his lawyers are doing good work. He said this yesterday. He said you can spend $100 million on bad lawyers. That could happen. But he's got good lawyers that are doing everything right. And the $100 million is well spent, he said. So they know what they're doing, and they have more insight. That I like Turley, and his analysis is pretty good usually, but Trump did not look concerned. When I saw him yesterday, he did not. And I saw him. He spoke 3 times over the weekend, twice on Saturday, and then yesterday afternoon. He didn't look like he had a worry in the world. So if Trump's not worried, you shouldn't be. Right? Does that make sense? I mean, he's the one that's facing all the trouble. Yeah, well, you're not facing it. He's the one that's facing it, right? So if he's not worried about it, you shouldn't be. I'm not. If I saw him worried or talking like he was worried, then I'd feel different. I'd be like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. But
that doesn't necessarily indicate the state of the case.
And on his first speech to the Jewish group in Iowa on Saturday, which was too short of a speech, but he was talking about what he would do for Israel. He said, if they spill 1 drop of our blood, we'll spill a gallon of theirs. And he was talking about the U.S. hostages that the Palestinians have. You know, this war with Israel and the Palestinians would be over in a second if Trump came in. Be over immediately. It would end. It would end. It would be, you know what it would be like? It would be like the American hostage situation with Iran. As soon as he was president-elect, Iran would stop the war. They would stop the Hamas fighters. It'd be over. Over. Just when before he was even sworn in. So no, everything's fine. I don't have any worries, and you shouldn't either. And did you watch any of the speeches over the weekend? No, the first one wasn't really a speech. All the candidates spoke to the Jewish group, and it was very short. I mean, he talked just a few minutes. I've never seen him talk for such a little amount of time. I almost missed it. Then the one after was a full speech, and then yesterday was a full speech, and he took on the judges in those speeches too, the ones with the gag orders. So no, these cases are the best things that could have happened to us. And so far as them, they're going to lose these challenges to keep him off the ballot. The one in Minnesota and the other state that I forgot, just like they've lost. No. Trump's going to win. The Democrats are going to lose those cases. And he's going to be on the ballot. He's going to be on the ballot. I mean, look what happened. We've got this, the most pro-Donald Trump person you could possibly have become the Speaker of the House, Maga Mike Johnson. MAGA Mike Johnson. You know, I mean, and so the people in...
To do with this part of the proceeding.
No, but it gives you a good feel for the pulse of the people. And the pulse of the people are behind Trump. See, what's happening in Washington, I've seen, since Mike Johnson became Speaker, there have been several conservative reporters who have confronted Democrat members of Congress in the halls of Congress. And the Congress people have called the Capitol Police on these conservative reporters. Conservative reporters did nothing, were not removed by the Capitol Police. The Capitol Police let them do what it is that they were doing, these conservatives at the Capitol. The feeling in Washington is that Trump's coming back. You can tell. Everything leans in that direction. This panic with the gag orders, this panic with trying to keep him off the ballot because he's ahead of Biden in all the polls. This panic to call the Capitol Police on conservative reporters, and the Capitol Police won't remove the conservative reporters. Now, everything is going well. We couldn't have planned it better than it's going. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, hey, Joellen. What's up?
So I think, I didn't see anything that was going on in France, but I just heard you. But I think a lot of this that's going on is, maybe Soros and by some of these other groups just to bring chaos in the streets all over the world.
Well, what's happened is Obama spent 8 years shipping Muslims to America, okay? And more than anybody ever realized. So these things happening around the country are the reason why Trump brought in that Muslim ban, if you remember, because Obama was bringing in this huge Muslim population, and now they're, doing what they're doing. In Europe, that's the EU. Tony Blair, the EU. That's when they had no borders, and they've been taken over.
Right. But even some of the American people that are joining these Palestinian gatherings, I mean, I think they are probably being paid just to go out there. No, I was watching a from Trump talking to Barbara Walters back in '91 on my phone, and even back then you could see the animosity. I mean, supposedly they're friends, but you could see the animosity in her tone even back then.
Barbara Walters?
Sure. Barbara Walters. She interviewed Trump in '91, and he had just come out with his book.
Do you know how Barbara Walters got into media and how her family made their money?
I have no idea.
Her father ran speakeasies during Prohibition. She comes from a criminal family, Barbara Walters. Oh. Yeah, she comes from a criminal family. She made all of her money through crime, just like Nancy Pelosi. Made all her money through crime. So who was she to judge? But yeah, now.
In '91, and it goes back. It was really.
But if you go back though, because I watch a lot of these old interviews with Trump, Barbara Walters, Rona Barrett, that's a good, Sally Jesse Raphael, and nobody remembers Rona Barrett, but you probably do, yeah. But if you go back to all these interviews from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, President Trump is saying the same thing then about China that he's saying now.
I could listen to him forever.
Go watch the one on Donahue. Even the Phil Donahue. There's a couple of Phil Donahue interviews. What happened when the Art of the Deal came out. President Trump went on a media tour promoting Art of the Deal. So he got interviewed by all these jerks that were big shots at the time, like Phil Donahue, and they're fascinating interviews. It's not just China. He talks about everything, and you could take what he was saying, play it today at a rally, and it would be relevant. I've never seen someone who holds all their positions like that forever. No one. No. Even Rush. Remember, Rush used to be a Democrat. So, I've never seen someone who is a life. Even Ronald Reagan used to be a Democrat. We've never had a politician that you could go back in time with 40 years prior to them being in politics, and they're saying the exact same thing as when they were in office. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Joe Ellen, do you think that they're going to arrest Trump for breaking the gag order?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. All right, Joe Ellen, take care. Thanks for the call. Oh man, so that's it for us today, Steve. But make sure I texted those photographs I bought of you on eBay. Yeah, I texted them to your wife, so she has them on her phone, and I didn't realize until my wife, she was looking at them yesterday, and it was April 1991, those pictures, and they were pictures that were taken for the Miami Herald, for an article they were doing on you in the Miami Herald. They're very good pictures, and my wife says, Steve is in these pictures is the exact same age that you are right now, Brian. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe, was Steve ever that young? Yeah. Yeah, he goes, they were fun. All right, listen, that's all the time we have for today. We will be back tomorrow. Today's going to be a big news day because the stories we've been talking about are just starting to develop today. So, and there'll be a lot more to talk about tomorrow that hasn't even happened yet. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. God bless America, and God bless the greatest president ever, Donald Trump.
104.3.
All right, guys, I got to take off. Make sure you subscribe before you go. Well, let me flip you around. There you go. Get a behind-the-scenes look